Verstappen gets shock pole after an amazing lap. Yuki is struggling a little better than Liam in the Red Bull, and Ferrari had to sacrifice pace to not risk disqualification. Do consider subbing. Let's get into the latest F1 news. Lewis Hamilton's recent experience at the Japanese Grand Prix has shed light on some significant challenges for Ferrari. Following his disqualification in the previous race in China, Hamilton revealed that Ferrari had to raise the SF25's ride height. Although they adjusted the car to meet regulations, it wasn't a move they wanted to make. Hamilton finished 6th at the Shanghai circuit, but that position was marred by disqualification due to excessive skid block wear. The ramifications of that penalty are now clear, affecting not just Hamilton, but the entire Ferrari team as they tackle potential performance issues during the ongoing season. So, what does this mean for Ferrari's 2025 Challenger? Hamilton noted that the breach of Article 3.5.9 of the FIA Formula One technical regulations has raised eyebrows about how sensitive their car is to ride height adjustments. This may indicate that Ferrari's car is running on a peaky ride height, where only a narrow range allows optimal aerodynamic performance. This sensitivity could pose a significant issue as they strive for competitive edge. As qualifying rolled around for the Japanese Grand Prix, Hamilton faced yet another uphill battle. Despite making it to Q3, he could only secure 8th place, lagging over 6/10 behind pole sitter Max Verstappen. The raised ride height directly impacted Ferrari's downforce capabilities. Hamilton dubbed this a knock-on effect stemming from the mishaps in Shanghai. In a candid discussion with Sky F1, he acknowledged that they were operating higher than they'd ideally prefer, a reality they'd been forced to adapt to following their recent struggles. He further indicated uncertainty about whether other teams are encountering similar challenges, hinting at the complex dynamics within the championship. Comparison with his teammate Charles Leclerc showed Hamilton was 3/10 off his pace, revealing that he opted for a different setup this time around. This deviation might also indicate the nuances in strategies being explored within the team as they cope with the current circumstances. Ferrari's evolving strategy and adjustments reflect the unpredictability and complexity of Formula One racing. As the season progresses, the team will have to navigate these hurdles if they want to remain competitive on the grid. Hamilton's remarks underscore the importance of every aspect, from technical regulations to aerodynamics, in determining success on the track. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into further developments as the championship unfolds. Hamilton put in a solid effort, but he faced challenges during qualifying, struggling with understeer that kept him from finding the right setup for his car. While he managed to qualify for Q3, he noted, "P8 is not great," acknowledging the tough competition he faced on the track. However, a potential game changer could be the weather, NAD, with a 40% chance of moderate showers predicted for Sunday's Grand Prix. Hamilton is optimistic about the rain, stating, "I generally love the rain. It's going to be tricky, but usually when you have a qualifying like I've just had, you hope for rain." This indicates that while conditions may be challenging, they could also offer him a strategic advantage. Jacques Villeneuve, a pundit during the race, explained that raising the ride height can make cars more difficult to handle. He mentioned that it narrows the car's operational window, causing drivers to struggle when the car is out of the desired aero balance. While Charles Leclerc managed to navigate these challenges, Hamilton's mistakes during the session highlighted how variable conditions can impact performance. In other news, both Hamilton and Carlos Sainz were summoned by stewards during the Japanese Grand Prix weekend amid discussions about incidents from qualifying. Additionally, Hamilton recently dismissed a theory regarding his relationship with Ferrari, calling it complete rubbish. As the race weekend progresses, Ferrari and Aston Martin were also called before the stewards after practice, intensifying the scrutiny on teams regarding their conduct and adherence to regulations. Hamilton remains focused, stating that after his disqualification in China, he faced no frustration, emphasizing his determination to keep pushing forward. With the exciting atmosphere surrounding the Japanese Grand Prix and the unpredictable weather, fans can anticipate an exhilarating race. Stay tuned for updates as we continue to cover all the latest F1 developments and insights. Max Verstappen's recent performance at the Japanese Grand Prix has sparked quite the conversation in the motorsport world. Christian Horner, team principal of Red Bull Racing, hailed Verstappen's pole lap as one of his best ever, describing it as insane. This comes after a weekend where McLaren appeared to have the upper hand, with both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri showing impressive form throughout the practice sessions. McLaren had been expected to dominate qualifying, with Norris and Piastri often exchanging fastest times. However, things took a stunning turn during the final phase of qualifying. In a surprising twist, Max Verstappen produced a phenomenal final lap, clinching his first pole position of the F1 2025 season. Setting a new lap record with a time of 1:26.983, he edged out Norris by just 0.012 seconds and Piastri by 0.044 seconds. The excitement was palpable over team radio as Verstappen celebrated his unexpected pole, clearly taken aback by his achievement. His race engineer, Gianpiero Lambiase, did not hold back in acknowledging the brilliance of the lap, referring to it as an insane effort that reflected Verstappen's skill and determination on the track. Christian Horner was equally thrilled with the outcome, expressing his surprise and admiration for Verstappen's performance. He remarked, "We did not expect that," highlighting how Verstappen had extracted every ounce of performance from the car and himself. This achievement significantly lifted the spirits of the Red Bull team, especially considering their struggles earlier in the weekend. At one point, Red Bull found themselves over half a second off the pace during Friday's practice. However, the team made significant strides in improving the RB21, allowing Verstappen to launch a competitive bid for pole position. Horner noted that Verstappen's engineering crew had literally turned the car upside down, making essential adjustments throughout the weekend to optimize its performance. Horner praised the synergy between Verstappen and his engineering team, emphasizing their efforts to stabilize the car's setup and get the tires in the optimal range for qualification. This collaborative effort culminated in what many would describe as a remarkable comeback after initially struggling with the car's handling. As the team reflects on the thrilling events of the Japanese Grand Prix, Verstappen's record-setting pole lap serves as a testament to his exceptional talent and the relentless pursuit of excellence by the Red Bull team. We can only anticipate what the rest of the season holds as the competitive atmosphere heats up. As the qualifying session wrapped up in Suzuka, it was clear that Max Verstappen had the upper hand, securing his first pole position of the 2025 season. Verstappen's performance was nothing short of extraordinary, especially when he managed to snatch pole from the McLarens seemingly out of nowhere. Team principal Christian Horner praised his efforts, noting that was one of his best laps in qualifying ever. The dynamics of the qualifying session revealed intriguing insights into car performance. On paper, the McLaren MCL39 had a suggested pace advantage, with hints that they could have been half a tenth quicker if their laps had fully come together. However, as Horner mentioned, Verstappen didn't leave anything on the table, showcasing his commitment and skill behind the wheel. Adding more depth to the narrative, Horner acknowledged the complexities of the RB21. Despite Verstappen driving through handling issues, he emphasized that the car was not as troublesome as some might think. It's a reminder that even in moments of adversity, a driver's tenacity and thorough preparation can lead to outstanding results. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda faced disappointments by exiting qualifying in 15th place. The struggle for different teams added layers of excitement to the competition, showcasing the unpredictable nature of Formula One. As we look forward to the race, Verstappen's strategy and the feedback from his team will be paramount. His ability to extract the maximum performance from the car could be the defining factor in continuing his winning streak this season. It's a high-stakes game, and every millisecond matters on the track. For fans eager for more insights, remember to follow Planet F1 for the latest updates and analyses. This season is shaping up to be a nail-biter, filled with dramatic twists and thrilling confrontations on the grid. What are your predictions for the race? Will Verstappen maintain his pole position, or can the competition rise to the challenge? In the high-stakes world of Formula One, driver performance is paramount, and after the recent qualifying rounds at the Japanese Grand Prix, Yuki Tsunoda found himself under the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Jacques Villeneuve, the 1997 world champion and seasoned pundit, didn't hold back in his assessment of Tsunoda's performance, describing his time of half a second slower than teammate Max Verstappen as not good enough. Tsunoda's qualifying performance saw him exit in Q2, landing him in 15th place. Remarkably, just prior to qualifying, he had shown promise, narrowing the gap to Verstappen to just 0.3 of a second. However, when the pressure was on, that gap widened, costing him crucial positions on the grid, especially after teammate Liam Lawson had returned to the Junior Racing Bulls team. Even with a slight boost from Carlos Sainz's grid penalty, which moved both Lawson and Tsunoda up one spot, the overall result left much to be desired. Villeneuve's candid commentary highlighted that a P15 finish was certainly not what Red Bull was aiming for. He emphasized the importance of qualifying well in a team where high standards are the norm. Helmut Marko, a senior advisor at Red Bull, had previously indicated that the team was looking into making the secondary car more manageable for Tsunoda. Yet, Villeneuve believes that Tsunoda's choice of setup for the RB21 was a drawback. He argued that it emphasized a race-focused configuration, which may assist in conserving tires during the race, but ultimately compromised Tsunoda's speed during qualifying. Villeneuve underscored the negative repercussions of the high downforce setup that Tsunoda opted for, suggesting that while it can be beneficial in conserving tires, it severely limits straight-line speed, a crucial factor during qualifying. When asked if he understood Tsunoda's decision to prioritize comfort over speed, Villeneuve suggested that a potential lack of experience could have influenced that choice. After all, comfort, he remarked, is rarely conducive to fast lap times. The Japanese Grand Prix undoubtedly presented an opportunity for Tsunoda to prove his worth within the Red Bull team. However, his qualifying performance raised questions about his approach and readiness to compete at such an elite level. Villeneuve's critique not only reflects the pressures faced by drivers, but also highlights the delicate balance between comfort and performance, a challenge that many athletes in high-speed sports continue to grapple with as they seek to carve out their own legacies on the track. With the stage set for the race, fans and experts alike will be keenly watching to see how Tsunoda adjusts and whether he can turn things around for a stronger showing in the race ahead. As we gear up for the exciting 2025 Japanese Grand Prix, let's dive into some notable moments from the qualifying sessions and insights shared by key figures in the racing world. First up, Red Bull's very own Christian Horner provided reflections on Yuki Tsunoda's performance during the qualifying rounds. He highlighted Tsunoda's decision to opt for additional downforce on his RB21, which he found suitable during the session. In fact, during Q1, Tsunoda held his own, sitting impressively close to teammate Max Verstappen. However, things took a turn in Q2. Despite showing great potential early on, Tsunoda encountered a challenging situation, noting that he possibly pushed too hard into Turn 1, which ultimately led to a loss of time. As Horner pointed out, it was unfortunate because Tsunoda seemed poised to secure a top 10 finish. But those hopes haven't vanished. There's still tomorrow, and the race is a fresh opportunity for him to capitalize on his skills. Moving on to Tsunoda himself, he expressed his struggle with the RB21, acknowledging the difficulties during qualifying while also reflecting on the missed chance to shine further on the Suzuka circuit. In his debut race with Red Bull, Tsunoda finished just outside the qualifying positions he aimed for, but he still shared some positive stats on his competitiveness compared to Verstappen. Interestingly, early data from their initial sessions together shows Tsunoda finished merely a tenth of a second adrift of the reigning champion, indicating that there's much potential to harness as the season progresses. In a separate discussion, Jack Doohan chose not to comment on his own recent mishap during the practice sessions, as the talk centered around the complexities of DRS protocols and the use of simulators. It's clear that the narrative surrounding these talented drivers is ever evolving, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. Keep your eyes peeled for the race as the drivers gear up to tackle the legendary Suzuka circuit, where every corner holds the promise of thrilling competition. Jack Doohan found himself at the center of controversy following a dramatic crash during the second practice session for the Japanese Grand Prix. The young Australian driver faced criticism not only for the incident, but also for perceived oversights that led to the crash. As the session unfolded, Doohan entered turn 1 at high speed, lost control of his Alpine, and crashed into the tire barrier. Thankfully, he emerged unscathed from the wreckage. However, this incident prompted Alpine team principal Oliver Oakes to point out that Doohan had failed to deactivate his drag reduction system, commonly known as DRS. According to reports, Doohan's dilemma may be rooted in his use of a simulator, where he had previously tackled that corner with DRS activated without issues. His commitment to trying the same in real life resulted in a critical misjudgment. Analyzing the crash, data expert Pablo Hidalgo noted that the key difference between Doohan's 2 attempts at the lap was that in the latter, he braked but neglected to lift off the accelerator before making his turn. This led to the crash, and a clear lesson emerged. The simulator doesn't always equate to real-world performance. Jacques Villeneuve, the 1997 world champion, weighed in fiercely on the situation, calling Doohan's failure to deactivate DRS laziness. According to Villeneuve, leaving the DRS open in the simulator translates into bad habits when drivers get behind the wheel of a real car. He cautioned that relying too much on virtual experiences can foster dangerous muscle memory, especially in fast-paced racing environments. Villeneuve's stance significantly highlights a crucial aspect of motorsport: mental preparedness and the ability to adapt skills learned in a virtual environment to real-life racing. With pressure mounting and the competitive stakes high, it's essential for drivers like Doohan to recognize the differences between sim and track conditions. The aftermath of the crash at Suzuka is a powerful reminder of the influence that habits, whether good or bad, can have on a driver's performance. As Doohan reflects on this incident, it's evident that the teachings from the simulator must be applied judiciously to the racetrack. In the world of motorsport, lessons aren't solely learned from triumphs, but often from the missteps along the way. Doohan's experience serves as a cautionary tale for aspiring racers, urging them to remain vigilant and adaptable. As the Japanese Grand Prix unfolds, the spotlight shifts to Jack Doohan, who faced intense scrutiny following a costly crash during FP2. The incident not only raised eyebrows, but also sparked rumors about his future in F1, especially with Alpine reserve Franco Colapinto in the wings. The pressure on Doohan, a rookie, is palpable, and he finds himself in a critical moment of his early career. Veteran driver Jacques Villeneuve weighed in on the unfolding drama, asserting that modern drivers are not used to the high-speed crashes of yesteryear. According to him, today's cars are engineered with safety as a priority, which can lead to surprise when a driver experiences a significant crash. He noted that Doohan's incident was more of a misjudgment than an error in speed or control. In fact, Villeneuve argued that Doohan's crash stemmed from simply forgetting to close the DRS, leaving little room for confidence issues. This insight brings to light an aspect of racing that often gets overshadowed: the mental resilience required behind the wheel. Doohan chose to downplay the mishap during interviews, expressing a desire to move forward rather than dwell on the past. This forward-thinking attitude is crucial in a sport where the margins between success and failure are razor-thin. The aftermath of the crash led to an investigation into the puzzling DRS data surrounding the incident. While Doohan emerged unscathed physically, the mystery of what transpired that day is still being unraveled among Alpine engineers and fans alike. As the focus shifts to the qualifying sessions ahead, Doohan's ability to regain momentum will be a focal point for both the team and his critics. Every driver knows that past mistakes can haunt them, but it's how they respond to those mistakes that often defines their careers. In the high-stakes world of Formula One, where every second counts, Jack Doohan faces not just the challenge of his competitors, but also the weight of expectations on his shoulders. The upcoming races will certainly be a test of his resolve and skill, and fans are eager to see how this young driver will rise to the occasion. Stay tuned as the drama of the 2025 Japanese Grand Prix continues to unfold.